I think that's the deeper sentiment though, Taz. That's not what's being heard. Because again, what's being heard mostly is niggas sit out of this. This ain't got nothing to do with us. Chill the fuck out, my beautiful black people. And I feel it to a certain extent, but I also find the ignorance if we just because we just saying let's sit back and ignore like
But that's a
it's
different
not gonna get no better, bro. That's all I point out.
I just disagree. That's a different. Sit back and ignore it is a different statement than don't get involved with their protests. I think that's a different statement. You can literally still go against this by voting and doing what you do on your end, but they saying don't go to the streets, and I agree with that.
100%.
I agree with you, guys. Because that one black guy that was in the middle that was jumping out the window for that guy that was a whole racist, he was looking crazy in that protest, that one black guy, bro. After that man was so racist to everybody, bro. It was looking crazy, bro.
Ridiculous. Let me welcome into the show. Finally, Jay get to give her opinion. And then we got Bon Cherry Juice right after. Welcome to the show. Jay, good day. How you doing?
What's up?
Good day to you.
Hey.
What's your thoughts?
What up?
Well, has ICE been caught in a black neighborhood yet?
Damn. According to KT, I'm pretty sure yes, but not really.
Not really.
Africans running by me in New York one day.
I would argue yes.
I see the African run by me.
Oh, they definitely have. I mean, keep in mind, and for example, right quick, in Chicago, when they moved those immigrants in, they moved them into communities where black people live. So they absolutely are in communities where black people live. Now, just outright black communities, no, but they're in communities where black people live for sure.
Oh, okay. So, anybody get shot dead yet by ICE in those neighborhoods?
Yes.
Keith Porter.
One.
And which that's not, because again, even that case is, to me, it needs to be separated from an ICE investigation where they're going out and getting some person who's taking advantage of children or something. That's somebody who was at home and some ICE agent came out of his house. That's a whole different situation than an ICE investigation.
And they killed him though, and they used ICE, him working for ICE, as a reason for it's being okay.
No. That's not what they're using it for. I think people are trying to use him as an ICE agent to move the argument that ICE is doing some wrong things. That's what is happening.
No, that's not true.
That was the off-duty federal agent that possibly misused, or he used it correctly. Hopefully, we get some more information about it, because all we have is the officer's what he's encountered. We don't have the opposition to that at the moment. But we can't use that as saying that this is a ICE investigation or an ICE situation. That this doesn't have anything to actually do with ICE. That was an individual that is a ICE agent, and he was off duty at the time.
And they protecting him like he was an ICE agent. That's what I'm saying.
Are they giving him immunity, trying to give him immunity under him being an ICE agent, though?
No, they trying to. No. We cannot. Hold on. We cannot confuse those things, right? If the man is telling the truth at the moment, all we got is that man's understanding of the situation. Nobody's going to say any officer that gets a assault rifle pointed at him, they're going to feel like he has the right to shoot that human being.
Yeah, you must
so
know.
We got to make sure we got to make sure we say correct.
Yeah, you making up the story. I didn't even know the story, but some of us did know the story.
That's the story, though. That is
the story. One on the ICE agent portion is claiming that he pointed the gun at him. But everybody else, the story is he was shooting in the air, right? To celebrate like people do. Yeah. And then a guy and the ICE agent ran out there and tackled him.
Right.
And now y'all saying that he claimed that he was pointing the gun at him. Which one was it? Was he pointing it in the air or was he pointing it at him?
The ICE agent gonna claim he was pointed at him.
Correct.
Yes. And the ICE agent make that claim, but that don't mean that's necessarily true. But because he's an ICE agent, I
agree. But I agree, which is why that needs to be separated from all these other people.
Right.
I agree.
No, it should be just the same. These ICE agents are lying, making up stories.
You can undermine his story which I know black people now are all lives matter, but I'm not. I'm watching his story be undermined because you putting people in it that are fucking with ICE versus somebody who wasn't bothering ICE, wasn't doing nothing to nobody, and some Rambo ICE agent ran down on him. That's a different story.
It's a different story.
No, but yeah, but the thing that they equaling it the same as the ICE agent. You're right. That man wasn't out there messing with nobody, protesting or nothing. But what make it similar is the ICE agent themselves. They're saying, "Oh, he's an ICE agent, so he has the right to shoot him." And then he said, "Oh, he had a gun." So most people are like, "Oh, he shouldn't have had a gun."
Well, he shouldn't have had the gun, and he shouldn't be shooting in the air. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, but that don't mean that he should get killed, and that is where black people are messing up, right? Because it don't matter what you should and shouldn't be doing if it doesn't equate getting murdered for it. And that's what y'all doing. Like the whole, I was trying to see if I'm listening to y'all, right? We have a right to follow police if we want to. I don't know why you think we don't, but in America, we have a right to protest them. We have a right to hold our signs and even make fun of them and yell at them.
So the problem is that y'all conflating what these people are doing by blowing whistles, blocking traffic.
Yes, you can blow a whistle.
That is not protesting.
Yes, blowing whistles. Y'all don't know what protest is.
No, protesting.
Civil rights.
Hold on.
You can blow whistles.
No, protesting is a very specific thing. You cannot say people impeding on investigations is protesting. We cannot put those into the same.
Blowing a whistle is not impeding on the investigation. You have a right to.
I would argue it is.
Well, I know y'all can make an argument, but y'all would lose because it doesn't make sense.
So I need some black people to prove it because I know what obstruction of justice is. And when that officer says, "Hey, you're interfering with my investigation," somebody going to jail.
No, but interference is an actual act. Just because I'm making noise don't mean I'm interfering.
Okay, so hold on. So Bomb Cherry. So you saying if you were just on your corner, you picked me, Go, and everybody on this panel. We chose a corner and we picked the corner. We say honk your horn. We blowing whistles. That is not interfering. But when you follow officers, law enforcement, and you are literally making noise so everybody that is possibly in trouble to flee, that is impeding. You are blocking traffic.
Is not. Listen, that is the First Amendment right. Listen.
No, it's not.
This has already been argued with the Supreme Court. Did you know that police used to say if you driving down the highway and you see a police and flashing your highlights, they tried to criminalize that. They were saying that people was telling other people that the police was on the way, and that went to the Supreme Court. You can absolutely follow the police, and on the other side, I can put on my high beams to warn people police is on the way.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's fine. We talking about the problem is we complain too many things. That's fine. I'm glad that we could put on high beams to say that it's a police officer in the bushes waiting to give you a speeding ticket. That's fine. That's not a police investigation.
Yes, that is a police investigation.
So Sharon, do you Sharon, do you feel
how they doing?
Hold on. That is not an investigation.
Yes, that's what they call an investigation. They tried to claim that.
So the people so the highway patrol that is sitting on the road waiting for somebody to speed down the street, who are they investigating?
They're investigating drivers on the highway. They looking for the speeders, the traffickers.
Okay, so the difference. All right, so now the difference is that ICE is going after a certain individual. They are investigating on a person.
No, but they're not
just traffic. We are not talking about traffic law of people doing 100 miles an hour. That's literally doing 100 miles an hour is not the same as ICE investigating possible criminal activity.
Bring it to 100 miles an hour. Listen, the Supreme Court, we have rights in this country.
Yeah.
If I want to follow the police, these ICE people are going door to door, and they don't know who live at these doors.
Hold on, please.
They're not going door to door.
I want us to go down a timeline of what we actually talking about because we cannot add traffic violations as into what's happening with ICE. Can we not do that?
Yeah, we actually can. We're talking about the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment. Like we could go on and on.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you said, Uda?
They're saying like, okay, as far as protesting and blowing the whistles and all these things, right? Is this thing normal? Can we do it? What kind of protesting is protesting? They said yes. Making noise like blowing whistles, shouting, and alerting others is a form of protest and communications. In many protests, especially like the ones that respond to police or enforcement activity, people use vocal or noise to make noise-making tactics to alert others, to encourage people to gather or watch, or signal urgency or solidarity. They said these actions fall protected under speech and symbolic expression in the U.S. as long as they're peaceful, though. So you do have a right. You could blow whistles and stuff like that as
Now, who
long
makes
as
the decision? Who makes the
the
decision on
person,
it?
the ICE agent. ICE agent. Yeah, so,
No, the
yeah.
ICE agent don't make the decision. The law make the decision. The Supreme Court make the decision. Yes,
No,
they
Who
can
makes
kill
the
you and shoot
determination?
you, but
You
then
think that?
no, I know
Wait.
that. I know that.
They said you
I
can
know.
record. Look what they said.
Oh
This
my
is what's
God.
permitted. Hold up, go.
This
They
is
said this is
bad.
what permitted. They said peacefully blowing whistles, alerting people about the presence of law enforcement is protected. Recording or observing law enforcement activity, peacefully assembling and chanting under the First Amendment, speech, noise, symbolic action, and all of those things are protected under there too as well. So you could, in some way, follow in some way, but to the degree, I don't know. Is like Goat said, it's still up to them to judge it. You know?
You said it
So-
was up to them when he asked, but he's
All right,
wrong.
so
I
this
still
is-
agree. If
hold
they
on,
on
hold
you,
on,
it's
hold
gonna
on.
be
So
up to
hold on.
them to
Here's
judge it.
Here's the key part. Does it say that you can follow law enforcement on investigations?
They said physically blocking ICE or other agents from doing lawful duties not permitted, touching or preventing an officer from carrying out an arrest, obstruction or physically interfering with enforcement operations, or encouraging or participating in violent acts or property damage, then they can go
Right.
the opposite
And
way.
again,
Right.
I ask,
You
you.
could blow
Thank you.
whistles. You could follow them. You cannot put your hands on them, just like they can't. They should be putting their hands on us.
Fine line, though.
But all that other stuff y'all was talking about, yes, you could do that. You could follow them from house to house.
Absolutely
and
not.
yes, you can, most definitely.
Absolutely
And people doing it. We're watching them do it.
and this
And
is
then
why.
we are watching-
Civil rights, they did it.
No, absolutely. You're gonna push people to getting themselves hurt. Go ahead,
No.
go.
Because my issue is like I think there's a level of where Bomb is correct, but she's not willing to concede that they determine now when you're interfering, though. It's up to them to say when you're interfering. You can legally follow them at the safe distance and blah 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 and recording all of this shit. But once they say you're impeding, now you gotta fight a case.
Yeah,
So
you
that, I
might
mean,
have to fight a case, but that doesn't make that case legal and right. So we're basically saying they can lie on you, which we know they can, right?
right. I'm
So
starting.
yeah,
there.
I can
I'm
see
starting
that
and
they can
finishing
lie
there.
on you. You can have a case, but based on the law, I would get out of it. I have to fight a case.
But if we know they lie and if we know they misrepresent things, why put ourselves in harm's way is what I'm saying. Because telling people that they can follow them implies that they can't do anything about it. And I'm saying they can. They can do a lot.
Yeah, they could kill people like they're doing, but it's illegal for them to do it, right? So, but no, so I'm not saying telling people to go out there or not go out there. Y'all the ones who saying ICE is right because the people who are following them are out there are wrong, and that's wrong. The people who are out there are flexing their right, their constitutional right to be heard and to protest, and they not doing anything wrong. The people doing something wrong is the ones who going door to door with no warrant, right? Or this fake now warrant that they've been having for a year, which proved they've been just going door to door without the right paperwork. That's what people have been complaining about. That's why people are protesting.
So just so we clear though, I'm not saying they right because I don't think they have those protections yet. I think they're going to get those protections before too long. I just don't think right now they have in place what they need to be protected when they're doing all of this shit. And Trump is going to protect them, and the citizens are helping usher that in.
No, okay, so you saying that I'm right. So you saying that they don't have that right, but you're saying that based on what's happening, they will get that right. But
they're going to get that right. Yes.
That's not what the past has shown us, right? There we have actual law that goes above all other laws, all other policies. That's the Constitution laws, right? Our constitutional rights. So that is what's going to prevent them from doing what you say. But then again, We are with a group of people who are illegal. Trump gonna do what the hell he want. He gonna
protecting
not
law
abide by
enforcement.
the laws.
But
and
wait,
everything.
protecting law enforcement doesn't go against the Constitution, though. I'm saying ICE does not have law enforcement protection right now. They don't have it. They got federal protections, but they go in these local municipalities. They don't have the protections that Trump would like them to have. They're going
Yeah,
to
no,
get
because
them.
Trump want them to control everything, but they do have protections. In fact, federal government have protections all over this country in all states. They the supreme. They supposed to be the supreme policeman. The
So, like,
federal.
let me give you an example, though, right? So they can't conduct the traffic stop. They're not legally allowed to conduct traffic stops on citizens just for no reason. But a citizen can block them. But that citizen blocking them impedes their investigation. And so now they can do something about it. But there's a lot of inner workings between all of this that can be eliminated with immunity. See what I'm saying? I just don't like the idea of let's keep pushing them to see if they're gonna fold or if Trump gonna do more. I don't like the odds of that. We're pushing the envelope by saying go protest, go blow whistles, go interfere.
That's what they said when we was enslaved. They when there was the black people, and they pressing too far, y'all. But y'all better sit down. We gonna all get killed. We risk our freedom. We risk our rights.
Hold on. So the problem that we keep having, we keep trying to add everything into the situation that doesn't apply.
Listen, the Constitution applies. Y'all the ones who
what you just said does not apply to this situation.
Yes, it does. This situation is about constitutional rights. That's why people are protesting.
So, okay, so if they are investigating somebody that is doing human trafficking and narcotics, you think that you have the right to impede in that and warn that person and say, hey, they are coming to arrest you for human trafficking and narcotics. You think that is okay?
I have the right to, if I know and hear that the police are coming to get a group of people, I can warn them. But you using the word impeding because that's the word they want to use. Now you got to go define what impeding means. But me warning them that I saw the police down the street and they must be coming, that is not illegal for me to do or anyone to do.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
That's obstruction.
It literally means to delay or prevent by obstructing them.
No, I didn't delay anything. I just told these people.
I'm giving a definition so you can understand what you are arguing. Because the problem is that you're throwing all these other things that is close to the situation, but it's not the situation. And way too many people are doing that. Is to delay or prevent someone or something by obstructing them, hindering them. So once you're doing that, so that's you impeding, you are delaying the arrest of this goddamn criminal.
Yes, but not by just me telling people they coming. If I stop them, like literally just held them back, a whole group of us forced them back and wouldn't let them through, that would be one thing. But by me just firing them and blowing whistles and all the things that these people are doing, that is not impeding. That's not hindering anything.
In the middle of the street ain't impeding.
He just gave us a clear definition what impeding was, and what he said is to delay them, not just by words,
but walking in the middle of the street.
No, walking in the middle of the street is not impeding them, not them from doing their job. If you're talking about from driving by, I'm not sure what you mean when you say in the street.
Right, driving by, they conducting whatever traffic stop they do, an investigation. You in the middle of the street, cars stopping because they can't get past. They tell you to get out the street.
But they are getting past. Just because people are protesting in front of them don't mean that they're stopping them from. They're getting past. They don't like that people are out there angry at them and saying anything to them. And now y'all are conflating that and saying because they are out there letting them know their grievances, that is impeding, and it doesn't equal that.
No, the problem is that you're saying that impeding is protesting. Impeding.
No, I'm not saying that you are.
No, because the difference is this: if I'm on a corner blowing whistles and screaming and yelling, that is protesting. Hey, police is down the block. I'm on my design corner and I'm protesting. It's different than me literally going to follow them from job to job, from position to position, from investigation to investigation, and say, hey, these people are coming. Because if that's the case, and if that's the case, that is okay. And then now you're giving people that have huge criminal organizations to go ahead and follow all law enforcement because they're getting investigated. Hey, just follow this officer until so this way we know exactly when SWAT coming. We know exactly when they are on stakeouts. We know everything about them because it is all a part of the law that we can just go ahead and follow them, even though I'm doing a criminal activity. This is the thing that you are not paying attention to. We cannot impede on law investigations.
Yeah, I'm paying very much a close attention to what I'm saying, and I am saying that we can follow them, right? I am saying that we can sit out in front of the ICE federal building with our signs, and when they pull off, we could pull up off behind them. And yes, and it's legal. You're the one who's trying to make it seem like I'm saying
hold on. Oh, slow down. So that we are in 100% agreement. 100% agreement. They could go inside of that in front of that federal building, put out their signs, blow whistles, horns, honk, scream, yell, do all those things in front of that building. 100% we're in agreement.
And they can follow them to wherever they're going.
Once we no, not until they're investigating. But don't you think you are protecting criminals when you do that?
I mean, that's what you want to say. But what I'm saying is they are not trying to protect criminals. They are saying, I have a constitutional right, my grievances, and I don't like how y'all are moving. I don't like how this administration is moving. And that is what those people are doing.
So don't arrest the predators? So don't arrest them then.
Don't arrest who?
The predators.
The predators. Because that's the bottom line for me. I can show you a list of these people that they didn't arrested.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Listen, now that's what y'all like to do. Y'all like to pull out, don't get the predators. But how many out of all them people they picking up are the predators? And then y'all say, well, it don't matter because one is too many. And that's the game y'all play.
We did a stream on it last night. We can look at them. It's about a third of them are actual child molesters, actual convicted, messing with 12-year-olds, murder, everything.
Okay.
So I mean, so I'm saying that, but
I think when you say a third of them, I think you're blowing that up out of proportion, or you just don't want to pay attention to the legal ones who they knocking at the door and going through their house, right? Because they don't have a warrant to come in, but they come in force. And if they don't know what color the people are in the house, then what kind of investigation did they make before they went storming in somebody's house? That's the constitutional right for people not to just come barging in your house. But not until it happens to you, then you will realize that shit is fucked up. And in Minnesota, it's happening for a lot of people.
If it were to happen to me, I would just file a lawsuit. But in terms of these people, they can't file a lawsuit because a lot of them are criminals. They are exactly what they're going to arrest. As they're walking these people out, and people out there blowing whistles and screaming and shouting, let's not forget that they are walking these people out. That's why I call it protecting predators, because for some reason, at some point, we've got to get to the point of people being arrested for what they're doing. Can't leave that out.
If they was already what you said, the predators, that means they already arrested them. That's how you know they were predators. Now, they still here. They should have been gone if they illegals, but now you're trying to situate that with ICE. What they got to do with ICE? If they already went to, was already claimed to be predators, why are they still here?
So they're here because a state like Minnesota, a municipality like Minneapolis has protected them. They do not cooperate with federal investigations. They didn't cooperate with them now, which is why ICE is running all over the streets acting crazy and whatnot. And it's somewhat acceptable because they blocked federal investigation. They made sure illegals got free, stayed free after committing these type of crimes because they won't give them to ICE. They won't give them to ICE in the first place. That's the problem.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about because we've seen a lot of them in jail. Right, for shootings, murder, rape, and all of this, right? And we know this to be true. But after they do their time, they get out. They really supposed to be deported if they aren't a citizen or they was an immigrant of any type. You know, they're supposed to be deported back to where they came. But this I think a lot of you, right? Because I know these people are paying some of y'all to make the claims that y'all making, and we need to understand that everybody isn't having this conversation on the same level, right? Reality, real. Some people are getting paid or want to get paid for the things that they put out there. But the Constitution is what a lot of us are going by. Now, I'm not telling black people to go out there. I say sit down, let these motherfuckers deal with their own shit. Just like you say, Taz. Okay, I agree with that as far as me personally. But at the same time, when they kill people, I'm not going to be like, yeah, get them, ICE. Because like you said, when it's always been us.
It's crazy.
And they're gonna continue to be us after they finish with them.
Yeah. A lot of them is predators though, but I don't know if the stats are how they trying to make them all to be. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just some stats that they're throwing around right now, the 70-30. But it's really not solidified by the DOJ or the DHS. They haven't solidified that stat. But a lot are predators though. Some people are predators. But that number is also thrown in with people that's in immigration cases and other people that got other cases as well.
And don't forget the narcotics part as well too. Let me just check on something real quick. Welcome to the show, Saint Supreme. How you doing?
Salute, Saint.
Saint Supreme.
Yo, what's up?
What's good?
Oh, Uda, you know Saint Supreme?
Salute.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, yeah, no, just to piggyback off of what Bomb Chair was saying, I've been listening for a little bit. I just don't know how we're getting to a point where like we don't believe in the Constitution as for all of our citizens. Like we have a constitutional right to the First Amendment. I'm pretty sure we all know that. It means
we ain't talking about citizens.
So Alex Pretti was an American citizen. So was Renee Good. Now, yeah, ICE has
they're out there in the middle of an investigation.
So what was Alex? One more time. What was Alex Pretti's crime?
What was his crime?
Yeah, what was his crime that deserved death?
Okay, so I'm not saying he deserved death, but if you want to argue what it was that ICE was dealing with him for, we can discuss that. But my argument ain't that he deserved to die.
But I've been hearing throughout the rest of it. Go ahead.
My argument would be leave these people alone. Why are you walking back into the street a second time? That still doesn't justify his death, but he's putting himself in harm's way. Do you agree or disagree?
I completely disagree. You are again, because of your First Amendment right, you're legally allowed to be within, I believe 10 feet was the Supreme Court ruling of any law enforcement officer. So if we're claiming that ICE is a law enforcement officer or agency or whatever, then they are also allowed to be within 10 feet. Also, simply recording and blowing whistles, that is, I don't know where that's.
But I just want to make sure you heard my claim, though. My claim was that he put himself in harm's way.
So what I'm saying to you,
but I just want to be clear. I said he put himself in harm's way. The motherfucker dead now.
Yeah,
and you saying I'm wrong?
Because of ICE.
But you saying I'm wrong? Right, but wait. I'm saying he put himself in harm's way. You're saying he didn't, but he did.
Yeah, because
you understand that?
Because the ICE agents are bloodthirsty.
So he put it, but did he put himself, fam? Can we just get past this stuff? Did he put himself in harm's way?
No, he went to go help a person who was.
All right, bro.
No, I don't know how you.
He didn't put himself in harm's way.
I don't know how you watch the video. It's like saying, like, did Breonna Taylor put herself in harm's way?
No,
she was reacting.
No, she didn't. She was in her bed asleep. Bad example. No, she didn't. If anybody, her boyfriend put her in harm's way by jumping up shooting. It's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but he had the right to do that.
To say that you have the right to do something. That is what I'm looking at.
Still put her in harm's way. That don't change the question of harm's way. Leave the fucking police alone. Leave on. If you run and do this shit to a mall cop, you putting yourself in harm's way.
Man, I done heard you
don't believe
the police. Now you're talking about leave them alone.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand this.
Yes, it's harm's way. Police, but let me ask you a question. If somebody's stealing shit at the mall, do you?
All right, so let's try to do one at a time. Go and Saint Supreme, you get to respond to go.
I'm just trying to understand the logic here. This is equivalent to somebody snatching something and running out the mall. Okay, these are mall cops, to my understanding. I don't support ICE like that. But with that, even the mall cop can enforce the law. Do you think you can just steal out the mall and run up out of there and knock him down and blah blah blah? No, fam.
I believe that you should not be murdered for that. I believe you should not be murdered for that.
I'm not saying you should.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to stop acting as if you're looking at not the totality, but then sometimes the totality. What I'm saying is, no matter what he did, being disarmed, being pepper sprayed, being arrested, being put on the ground, which is exactly what happened in the video, that does not warrant murder. I understand what you're saying, because I can agree with what you're saying. I can agree with the idea of, hey, as a black person, we should not be investing. I live in Colorado. I live in a fucking half and half state. I see I can go down 20 fucking miles and meet crazy right-wingers over in fucking Grand Junction. I understand what you're saying, but the difference is, I do not believe in the society. One last thing that I'll say, and I'm sorry to kind of talk about this. Someone had said, like, leave it to the white people so the white people can deal with it. The problem is, I don't know if you guys have ever, I'm a big history nerd. I don't know if you've ever read a poem. It's a very famous poem. It said, no one came for me. And all it starts was, they came for the Jews, but I didn't stop the Jews. I didn't stop them because I'm not a Jew. They came for the Russians.
Yeah, we know this poem.
So when they get to you, that's where we're talking about. For some reason, you guys cannot see your intelligence.
We've been here already.
Eventually go down to us.
This is insulting.
It's not insulting. I understand that we know as black people about Philando Castile, about Tamir Rice, about George Floyd. I understand that, but then you don't understand that they're now doing it to white people more.
They are not. Okay, hold on. I want to jump in real quick. Hold on. It is not the same.
Okay.
The reason why it's not the same is because just like they are putting themselves in the harm's way, those people that you just named was minding a goddamn business, going in a whole complete. They're trying to stay away from police. They wasn't trying to stop police from doing any investigation. They wasn't trying to stop and bully police to leave out of their city or out of their county. None of those things. We cannot put all our black situations that we had into this ICE. It ain't the same. It's not even remotely. It's not even remotely close.
When these people died, some of these same people was up here saying they deserve it. They shouldn't have did this. She should. Breonna Taylor should have had a boyfriend who was a criminal.
People are not here right now. Hold on. We are going by what we are seeing right now. What we seen was that man put himself in the way of police.
I thought he went to help a woman, right? Like, let's say it was your woman was out there walking around, and
that's not what happened.
Somebody run and push her.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what narrative we want to put out there to justify.
We talk about the truth.
Yeah, that's gonna get more people hurt.
The truth is that man did not. He was not just walking down the street and he happened to see two women being assaulted by a gang of people. He wanted to involve himself in it. No, he was there to address police officers. That was his whole
peacefully with his phone, right?
Can I ask you a question?
He had a right to do that peacefully with his phone.
Yeah, but he needed to be 10 feet away, Bomb, according to what the other brother just asserted, right?
And hold on, because I want Saint to get a chance to talk. But it's peaceful until it's not. Like we gotta understand that there's a threshold to that shit. There's a threshold to when you are protesting on the sidewalk, to when you are protesting in the middle of the street, to when now you are directing traffic. That is not protesting anymore. When you are directing traffic, it's not protesting anymore.
Yes, that exactly is protesting. Because like you said, when they directing traffic, that means they not impeding, they letting traffic go by, making sure nobody gets harmed. And listen, I get it. We would still be enslaved if it was up to somebody.
Hold on, so Bomb, you saying that if I was to walk outside and stand in the middle of the street and start directing traffic, that is okay for me to do?
If there was a whole group of people, we talk about what happened, right? There was protesters out there, right? In the way. We want to make sure nobody get hurt. We want the drivers to get by, and we don't want nobody get hit by the drivers. And so, yes.
I'm Cherry.
Yes.
Me and you.
Now you're talking about me and you.
Okay. Yes, me and you. We get 10 people. 10 people. Everybody's on their corner. We got, 2, so it could be even on each corner. For us, we want to cause mostly want people to honk their horns, blow whistles. If I go into the middle of the street, you saying that is still a legal protest?
I could go in the middle of the street. Are you saying I can't?
I'll answer for her too. It is legal protest. The difference is protesting in and of itself is usually not legal or stringent upon its legality because you're protesting against the government. So yes, perfect example, Jan 6 for the Republicans. That was bordering on legality. As you can see, because of the president we have, they currently are free because of that. But we as a government found that to be illegal action that they took for demonstrating protesting. That's why you hear Republicans use the word rioting, because they like to incite that the violent aspect is what you need to hyper focus on. The George Floyd, the BLM protests, the No Kings protest. I live in Colorado. Yes, you cannot be in the street taking up a highway, but the difference is that is how you get your voice heard. I don't know if we're scholars of any protest movement, the Black or not the Black Lives Matter, the freedom movement, the fucking civil rights movement. Yes, they were doing civil disobedience, and then you had other people on the other half who were doing uncivil disobedience, and both sides of this collapsed into making what we have currently now. I do believe that protesting in and of itself against a government, regardless if it's tyrannical or not, is usually bordering the line of legality. But that's the point. You need to do that because your government is breaking, or in the people's eyes, is breaking some type of rule of law or whatever the case is. Look at other places around the world. They're doing the same thing. Hong Kong, Taiwan, Taipei.
Other places around the world.
I know, because we're not a unified people, because we for some reason think that people should. Yeah, because we believe that people are separate from each other.
Because the one thing that's being left out of all of this so-called legal protesting is the permit that typically goes with illegal protest. I understand.
Can we be honest? Trump is not going to sign a legal protest.
You only need a permit depending on where.
All right, hold on. We got to let people finish their full thoughts, so this way we don't have an interrupt. But if you are in the middle of the street, you do need a legal permit. If you're on the sidewalk, you don't need one. But if you are in the street, you need a permit. But go ahead. Let go. Bomb want to talk to it, and Saint Supreme want to talk right after. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the only point I was trying to make. Is again, we are towing the line of what's legal and whatnot, and I just don't think this is wise to do for other people. I've never heard this in-depth discussion about our own people. I've never seen people say, "Hey, go out and blow the whistles when you see SWAT get ready to do a raid on their house." So
they used to do that.
Ain't nobody said that in the history of me being on YouTube.
I see, just because you talking about history of YouTube, but I have been here. I watch drug dealers. Y'all watch drug dealers blowing whistles and all kinds of shit.
But nothing anecdotal. Let's just be honest. Nobody's telling black people to do that.
And hold on, let's also be honest too that those people was criminals that was alerting that the police was coming. The people that was okay, so.
But y'all said that nobody.
Hold on. What we're saying is that even with your example, those was criminals alerting criminals.
Yeah, civil rights, we were criminals too. Did you know that? When they were beating us,
I'm not allowing that anymore. We are talking about something specific. It doesn't have anything to do with civil. This thing don't have nothing to do with civil rights. We gotta stop. We gotta stop adding our movement into these other people's movement.
Stop doing that.
Hey, what are you talking about? This is civil rights is an American movement. It is our movement.
No, but this situation, the situation that we are talking about have nothing to do with civil rights.
It is.
Yes, it does.
Quite literally, your civil.
It actually has something to do with civil rights.
Civil rights, when we did it in the '60s, was because black people weren't being treated as citizens. Civil rights citizens.
But black people were citizens and have been citizens for 100 years. And now you're talking about people who aren't citizens in this conversation.
So Alex Pretti was a citizen, and ICE has been saying that they've been
protesting a citizen.
Because the difference is we're not talking about.
But can we just be clear? You're using them, but you're using them to hide the fact that ICE is not going after citizens. These people are getting in ICE's way. ICE ain't got warrants for citizens.
Do you remember in 2000?
Hold on, so Saint, you saying that Alex Petty was being investigated by ICE?
No, absolutely not. And they used
was
the justification
Alex Petty was he being stopped to do anything civil in this world? Was he being stopped to vote? Was he being stopped?
He was being a civil servant by recording.
So we got to make sure we put it in context. It was none of his civil rights being. He put himself in front of ICE, not the other way around.
You don't get the cops don't get to become because you went out.
Hold on, y'all, please.
Go ahead.
ICE did not put themselves in front of Alex. Alex put himself in front of ICE. That you got to maintain your argument as that. Stop trying to add in Martin Luther
because
King.
I refuse the. I literally refuse
you
the
keep
framing
giving
of
us
that.
restrictions that don't fit
Watch the video.
narrative.
He walked up to the woman. He did not fight this officer. He didn't pull out his gun. He yelled at them.
Yes,
Again, you are allowed to do so.
Cap.
Watch the video. We can watch it right now, all of us together. That's not what happened.
That man didn't insert himself between that woman and that officer and touch that officer.
He went and grabbed the woman. The officer pushed him down and pepper sprayed him. Watch it. Let's just watch it.
That's why the difference is I shoved him. And I'm not. That's what
I'm against to get more people hurt, fam.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm against that officer walking up and shoving him, fam. I'm against that. I'm not.
That means the entire interaction then becomes problematic from the officer's point of view. If the officer shouldn't have done that, then that means that everything else he's been using to justify it is wrong. That's the same thing.
I'm not using nothing to justify nothing. I need to understand why you telling people it's okay to walk back out in the street, knowing that these officers are going to walk up and shove him like that.
Why is it okay? Because we need to record it. We need to document.
Are you telling them it's okay?
We need to document.
It's okay, y'all.
It is okay. It is okay. You should be brave. You should be brave, and you should.
You didn't know that they would be criminal and shooting him and killing.
No, I don't. Do you hear what I'm saying? Because I'm not afraid of. I'm not afraid of.
Hold on, we gotta say one at a time. Hold on, we gotta say one at a time, please. I know it's a heated argument. We have to try to say one. Let's not interject every second, y'all, please.
You have a bleeding heart. You want me to cry with you. You want me to understand this. You want me to complain with you. If that's the case, stay out of their way. Then I don't want to see people die either. But I'm saying stop sending people on these dummy missions to go fuck with them when you qualify what they're doing. People next to you are fucking with ICE. Now they're hiding. Now they see you walking down the street. Now you involved. It would be better if we just told black people to stay out of it. No. I don't understand what y'all doing.
No, absolutely not. It's better for people to be out and to be active and to show that the tyrannical government that you do not support them, and that does not mean that you need to lose your life, and nor does that mean you need to be a superhero.
So what's the strategy and plan for protesting? Hold on, Shadow. I just want to know what the strategy and plan is.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the strategy and plan is to, like, person to person, is to ingratiate yourself with your local polling and your local voting like people, so that way you can have a more direct hand in making sure that that these people cannot be a part of your community, that these people and that the people that are, protecting and serving like exactly who they're protecting and serving. The biggest problem is we have these mass militias. We have these people who come from, wherever the fuck they want to come to. Just
wait, before you go to the problem, I want to get to what the strategy and plan is.
Yeah.
And so one plan you said is to vote locally. Wait.
No,
to protest ICE, you need to vote locally. That's one part.
Yes, that's one of the many, many things to do, aside from being out there and actively protesting.
Okay, so when you're out there, what is the plan and strategy? Where are the leaders? Where are the captains? Who are you reporting to? What are you taking with the
You don't need any of that to be effective in your own right. You don't need any.
You don't?
No, you don't.
You don't. This is
we know that because George Floyd and many others didn't have that.
Like what we are doing right now is effective. I don't understand. So look, he's getting pushed over. Alex Pretti's he's not even looking at him. Do we see this?
What did you see that?
Y'all gonna get so many more people hurt, man.
Hold on. There's no way
somebody hurt.
Hold on. It is not possible that you didn't see that man push the officer.
Bring it back. Put it back. Show me literally the freeze frame. Let's see it. So he puts his hand up. Is literally what he does, Sharon. Are we being serious? Are we being serious?
They like
is that obstruction?
No, seriously, answer
that is a push.
Are we being Sharon, stop it.
Hold on, that's literally a push.
I mean that out of, and
he literally jumped in front of him, bro. Why lie? Why lie? Like you don't see him jumping right in front of him, bro. Why lie?
No, he jumped in front of him. What does that mean?
Stop pushing her.
You can't jump, literally jumping in front of an officer is impeding him.
No, that's
literally.
not.
Okay, but so mind you,
hold on one second.
Yeah, I know,
Hold on, please. This is not. We have to be living in a parallel universe. We are watching the same, but we must be looking at two different videos, even though we all looking at the same video. But in your universe, it must be some different information that you see versus the information that I see. It is no way possible that y'all looking at that with that man with his phone in his left and his right hand, and then he go like this. He literally push, and then he try to put his hands up in the air like he ain't doing that. Like we don't see that. That is wild to me.
So now
We
he
are
deserves to die?
looking at
He
it
deserves
is
to
not
die?
possible that we are
He
looking
deserves
at.
to die.
Hold on, it is not. It is not possible that we're looking at the same video.
This is why I think it's sad what y'all doing. I think it's sad what y'all doing because if anything, I can respect him for jumping. He literally jumped in there to defend her. He literally jumped in front of that officer to defend her. That's respectable. But why lie about it? That's what I don't get.
No, y'all the ones who lying about it.
It's just
We
like,
know
yeah,
that he jumped in to
he jumped in
protect
front
her.
of, yeah, but
Y'all
then he
making
didn't
it seem
push
like he
her,
was out
yeah,
there fighting.
violently,
He
yeah.
pushed because he was ready to fight. Is
Exactly.
basically
You're
what y'all
changing your
saying.
arguments in real time. You said push. I said show me the. What's funny is I remember this exact argumentation about the Tim Waltz thing because I was watching your stream like